What up everybody, Sokar here with my 300th subscriber special. To start off with, I would like to show you this wall. This is a temporary monument to the people who has had a great influence on getting my channel to where it is today. I'm thinking I will make a big monument inside my base somewhere, maybe below ground, maybe in a big glass dome or something like that, where I will make a wall basically with the names of everyone who has been a big influence on my channel's growth or channel's quality. And as of right now, I've only added 6 guys. I know there's a lot of you guys out there who supports me, who's not on here, but these guys really stand out for various reasons. So yeah, I'm really hoping that this wall will expand with time, but for now these guys are the guys who's on here. So a ton of thanks to all of you. I wouldn't be where I am now on YouTube if it wasn't for you, and hopefully I will go much further, and I will look back on these early times and remember you guys for what you've done for me. So yeah, thank you very much to you 6 guys, and thank you to everyone else who's a regular viewer, and everyone who's subscribed. And yeah, that's that. Onwards to the actual special, to the build that I have worked my ass off to get ready for this special. So I'll see you in a few minutes when it's gotten lit, or when it's morning. So I'll see you in a few moments. Here it is, guys. As you can see, it's basically the storage area, but this one has been completed. All the functions that I wanted in it is in it, and it took quite a while to do. I will mention here really quickly that you guys need to remember that I did not come up with the storage, you know, the way the minecarts are stacked. I did not invent that. That's Seth Bling's design, but I have expanded on it and added my own additions and added functions. Oh damn, I really hate it when it does that. So yeah, but anyway, you will finally get to see what I had in mind. You will see what all these bases were for, and you will get to see the whole thing in action, and how it works, of course. This is a quick loader. I'll quickly explain that. Basically what it does is I can put a minecart there, flip that, and let's say I wanted to go into the cobble one, I could just flip that and it would go directly up to the cobble. But that's a minor thing. I'll show it later. For right now, you need to know and see that this works. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's 9 cards in the stack. It works. I've checked all of them. They work. Very important thing I'll note here, because I had a few problems with this flying around. If you notch any of these in just, I mean, even in the slightest, things are gonna go bad. Okay, so make sure you don't do that if you ever use something like this. So anyway, I've proven that the standard storage cell works. Now to the actual complicated stuff. As you can see, in between all these, there's a redstone wire going out and up to this thing, and this is basically what Seth Bling had built in his. If I'd done nothing else, then what would happen when I switched the send button was all of these guys would go out at the same time. But as you can see, I want them to travel along one rail line, all of them, not like give them one each, one of them. And also what this means is that I can customize this, which means in one base I might have the order of material cells completely different to another base because it's not important. I can tell them to go to any cell in any base that I want to. I'll explain the redstone wiring in a second, but first I'll show you that it works. Let's take a random one in between everything. Let's say we want to go for the gold one, so we switch the gold one on. Now this means that with this one down, I haven't gone to this one, there's one of these on each base. When the lever's up, it's ready to receive minecarts, and when it's down, it's ready to send minecarts, which means that if this one is down and I switch that one on, that means that this one, it will send all the minecarts in this cell out. But we want to receive here, so we leave that on receive. We click on the gold, that means that this one will receive the incoming minecarts. We go back to our other base and we switch on send, and we want the gold one to be the ones that go, and off they go. All 9 minecarts on their way to our other base. And as you can see, they all end up going into the gold one. And just to make sure that it isn't a fluke or anything, we'll take another one to receive, and we will, of course we gotta switch this one off there, and the wool one is there. Now if you remember, the wool one in the other one is that one out here, okay? So there's no way that this is just set to send them in some weird way to the same cell in the other base. So switch that on, and the wool minecarts leave the base and go all the way over here. And there you have it. They have been transferred, all of them, and are ready to be used in the new base. Gotta switch that off and that off. So yeah, that's what it. Oh, and I can. I guess I can just prove this one as well now. Flip that down. Oh damn. Flip that. And boom. There you have it. So you can also send in new minecarts, although it would be stupid because the system is designed to only have. Gotta make sure there's no items left here. Otherwise they will disturb things. God damn it. Get out of there. There we go. Oh, wrongly placed. There we go. So, yeah. That's basically what it does. It allows you to send minecarts between 2 bases or more bases. You can basically do this with an infinite amount of bases. And you can expand upon this infinitely as you will as well, because of the way it's designed, which is what we'll get to now. Now obviously the bottom here says itself. When you click the button, that goes power to that, or goes to the piston, which sends it around. That's the basis of this build. Now what happens if I switch this one, however, that one sends power through here. By the way, the reason I need a repeater there is because if it's not there, the piston will basically turn into a butt switch. We don't want that. And then it goes here where the signal is split. One of the signals go up here, turns that torch off, which in turn turns that piston off, which allows minecarts to escape the base. The other wire is a little more complicated. It sends power down here, all the way down. On its way, it turns on this piston. And what that does, I'll get back to in a few moments when we get to that part of the circuit. It sends power down here, where it splits again. Now, at the one over here, you know, at the module that's at the end, you know, furthest away from the actual track that leads to the other bases, you don't need you basically don't need this one here. I just have it for order's sake, but the other guys needs I'll turn down the sound real quick here so we don't have to listen to all the rain. What this one does is it sends power to here, and that sends power to that piston, no, to that block, which turns this torch off, which in turn controls the tracks above. If it's powered, it will point that way. If it's unpowered, it will point the other way. So that's how it controls what track the cart should go in on. And it's similar on all of them. I'm just vary them in between each so that the redstone doesn't overlap. You see, the repeater is just down below there, goes through, also this, into that, and it basically does the same thing. Now the other thing it does is it powers this main power line, as I call it, because this is a line that will go through all of the cells, and this will lead to the clock, which will pulse out all the mine carts. But as you can see, the signal dies here, and that's because we don't want the watch to go off and turn on the and start sending out the minecarts unless we wanted to. That's why we have that one. When that one comes on, I'll just turn that off so we don't have them going all over the place. When we turn that on, that basically sends power all the way here down to this repeater, which lengthens the signal, to this piston, which turns it on, pushing down the block, to this, which would be on if we wanted to send something, which would let the power go through here all the way down and turn on this clock. Also, what it does beyond that, I'll get back to the clock in a moment, is it sends a signal over here which shuts down this torch, which in turn shuts down this circuit, which at the end lets these torches below those torches turn on. Now what this does is it fixes all of the tracks to an outgoing direction, which means that no matter where a minecart comes out from here, it will go out. And what it also does is, because this torch down here is powered, no matter the input up here doesn't matter. It's basically severed. This no longer have any control over these torches, and thus have no control over the tracks, which it only needs to have when it's receiving. So yeah, that's how the tracks get turned. And as we get back to the clock here, it allows it to turn on the clock, as I said, and then it goes to an output which pulses, which in turn controls the piston at the desired storage cell. I think I'll grab some torches here. I don't know if it's a little bit dark, but anyway. So you see, the power comes out from here. It's set to 3 because otherwise the signal isn't long enough for the torches to react later down the line. But it sends power through here to that repeater, which allows the signal to go through over here, which goes to every one of these, and that's to one of each cell. And this is where that piston that we activated almost from the beginning comes into play, because we don't want all of them going off, and this is our safety. Only the ones that turns on will have this piston and thus that block down, which means that even though all of these rows receive power from the clock, only the one that's activated from up there will actually receive power, which goes through here to that torch, which turns off the torch at intervals and then turns that on, which creates the pulse movement of the piston, which forces all the minecarts out. Whew, that was a long explanation. Now, there's one thing that I wanted to add to this, and when I made this, I didn't really think about it until afterwards. And that is, I wanted a way to make sure that you could only turn one of these on at the time. because if you turn on 2, there's nothing to stop both of them from just going out and getting mixed up. And yeah, I tried that. That really doesn't work all that well. So what I came up with to fix that, I will show you now. Ooh. It's over here. I don't know why I built it that far away, but anyway, we'll be there in a second. Now, as you can see, here we have it. Now, what this is basically is a bunch of RS-NOR ledges wired together in a specific way, which means that it only allows one output. All these inputs work, and they all have their unique output. But if I turn this one on, boom. As you can see, it allows power through, but what it doesn't is if I turn on another one, it doesn't allow that to send power through, because the reset has been activated by the first powering, which locks in place the glass block and doesn't allow power to go through. So when one is on, that's the only one that's going to be on. And another added feature is, should you not only be foolish enough, or should I not only be foolish enough to turn on one of these guys, no, 2 of these guys, but if I were also foolish enough to turn off the one that's actually powered, you know, the one that allows the signal through. Boom. Now what that does is that simply locks it in place. Now there's no output going out, even though all these guys were on when I turned that off. You basically have to turn them all off again to make another signal go through. That way we will that will prevent that will prevent more than one signal from going out at any one time. And with that invention in mind, I don't know if somebody has done this more than that, but that's my invention, and I'm damn proud of it. And even though I made a thread of the forums, which didn't actually help me, because I actually ended up building this before I actually returned and checked up on the thread, which again didn't actually come up with this plan, but came up with other more complicated ways of doing it. In my mind, that's a first. If anyone else have done it before me, well, good. But I'm very proud of myself finding that solution, because believe me or not, before this build I was actually not very good with redstone. But anyway, with that in mind, I built this. And this is basically my Mark II. Well, that one over there is my Mark I. This is the Mark II, and what it is basically, well, it's actually this one, exactly the same one, except for, of course, the crucial factor that is I have incorporated that invention over there into this build. So as you can see, I'll just flip them all on at the same time, and as you can see, only the first one that I activated gets a signal through. Now they all turn off this up here, but that doesn't matter. It's not important, because the things that govern the tracks is going through the output down there. The only thing that changes is these guys going up, and that's again not important in for this. But as you can see, it goes through here. Only one of the outputs go through, and then it just goes on to do exactly what I explained in the other on the other building over there. And just to prove that it works, now if this works, then the only piston that should, okay, I've got to reset something here. I had some technical problems with this a few moments ago. Had to redo something, but that's been fixed, I think. I hope. It would be awkward to start recording before I was actually ready. But anyway, what I was saying was, if I'm right and if everything works as it should, even though all these guys are on, when I switch that one to send, only this piston will pulse. And there you have it. Only one pulses. Even if I turn this on, none of the others go on. I have to turn them all off again. And then I can switch that on, and then that one will go. But none of the others will. So, this is my Mark II. And that's basically what I had to show you today, guys. This is my greatest and most advanced, most complicated redstone invention so far. It has gone through a lot of stages, a lot of tinkering to get to this point. And although it is hugely impractical for an actual LP world, there is places to save materials, because I have been a little careless with the way I've treated materials. There are better ways, well, I don't know if it's better, but there are ways to shave it down, to make it cheaper to build, and I will, for the LP version, find out those ways we can shave it down and make it more affordable. But eventually we will have one of these guys, and maybe I'll even make a Mark III, because I actually have plans for improvements. But eventually we will have one of these guys in all our bases. And again, I will mention that the good thing about this is we can expand on this as much as we want. We can make as many cells as we want, and it will all work. All one has to do is just copy a cell, copy a cell, copy a cell, and it will work. Whew, that was a long explanation. But anyway, that's my special, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And that, oh yeah, and if you guys want me to make a tutorial on this, to really go into details on how to build it and how it works and why some things are important, because even though it might look obvious and maybe you can copy it, but if you haven't tinkered with it as I have, you'll be surprised when you run into weirdness, because there's tons of these things all over this build that if you move just one block, or if you add a block or anything like that, things will really bug up. For example, what was wrong here before was that every time you turned that on, it turned into a butt switch, because because there was a redstone wire there, and it got stuck. And the way to fix that was a repeater. I didn't know that at some point, and it took me quite a while to figure it out, because I haven't actually worked with butt switches. But yeah, as said, if you want a tutorial, make sure to of course say that you want it, and remember to leave a like. Really, guys, you gotta like this one, seriously. But no, really, leave a like if you think it deserves it, and if you don't, I'll totally understand. But in either case, I hope you enjoyed this one, and that you'll continue to watch me in the future. We have much left to do. Still have many plans left to execute, and hopefully we will get them all done. But as always, remember to leave a like, and if you ain't subscribed, subscribe. There will be more goodies coming soon. And but for now, this is what I'm done in creative mode. I can't wait to get back to classic. So I'll see you guys in my next LP episode. Take care, everybody.